The VR helmet was placed next to the computer. The shiny black shell reflected the blue light of the screen. When he ran his fingers over it, he felt the slight coolness of the metal edge, as if it was the key to another world. Ting took a deep breath, lay down on the sofa, and put on his helmet. The world went dark, and then there was a familiar hum. The low-frequency vibrations in the headphones penetrated the brain, the fresh grassy fragrance of the virtual air poured into the nose, and the skin felt faintly hot. This was the illusion of the activation of neural connections. The main interface of Era of Fantasy pops up, and the character, Ting Wuxuang, slowly stands up at the resurrection point of Novice Village. Green light surrounds his body. The soil under his feet is soft and moist, and it feels like mud and sinking when he steps on it. Ting dragged his tired body and pushed open the door of his house. The door lock made a crisp, click sound, which was like the sigh of a chain being loosened. In the empty living room, the air was as stuffy as a steamer, mixed with the greasy smell of takeout boxes. He shook off his dusty leather shoes and stepped on the cold tiles with the soles of his feet. The biting coldness instantly ran up his calves, dissipating some of the anger from being yelled at by his boss during the day. Working overtime until 9 o'clock, he cursed in a low voice, his throat as dry as if he had swallowed sand. He grabbed the energy drink on the table and drank it in a gulp. The sweet bubbles exploded on the tip of his tongue, barely suppressing the feeling of powerlessness in his heart. The world channel is going crazy, with barrages pouring down like a torrential rain. Tang Long, the overlord of the Tang sect, the fate system for job transfer has been launched. Server-wide announcement, only the top 100 guild members can participate. I have locked 50 places in the Tang sect. Individuals, please get out. Dragon Soul Brother, hahaha, individual players still want to change jobs. Go home and take a shower, the system won't let you play. Passerby damn, as soon as the announcement came out, the Tang sect took over the screen. What is the fate of job transfer under the new system? I heard that if you make the wrong choice, your account will be cancelled. How can a Sanren understand NPC hidden options? Ting frowned and tapped his fingers on the virtual keyboard. In his ears, he could hear the sound of ridicule on the channel, surging like a tidal wave. His heart sank. An ordinary office worker player has no guild and no resources. The job transfer system is supposed to be an opportunity for counterattack, but it is taken advantage of by these guild pigs. Reluctantly, the flames burned in his chest, and he scanned the announcement details. Job transfer destiny system is online. Find the village chief NPC, the conversation triggers the hidden branch, and unlocks the qualifications. Tip: read the village chief's eyes carefully, the options are more than just superficial. Hidden branch? Ting murmured, the corners of his mouth raised slightly. These guild fools are just swiping the screen to grab spots. Who the hell would pay attention to that? Look. His character flew towards the village chief's hut, his footsteps crushing the fallen leaves on the ground, making a rustling sound. The entrance to the village was already crowded with players, and the noise was like a beehive buzzing. Some people were pushing, and some were yelling, "Get out of the way. People from the Tang sect, get out." The village chief NPC stood in front of the wooden house. He was an old man with a gray beard, his eyes were cloudy, and he had a kind but tired smile on his lips. Ting squeezed forward, and a dialogue box popped up. 1. Grandpa Village Chief, how to play the job transfer system. 2. I heard that you have a secret to changing careers. The surrounding players swarmed up and chose one. The village chief shook his head. Young people, opportunities are limited, give them to those who are destined first. The channel exploded again. Dragon Soul Brother, Brother Wuxuang from Sanren Ting is also here to join in the fun. It's so funny, if you make the wrong choice, get out of the novice village. Passenger B, look at his poor equipment, change job. Dream on. The ridicule was like a knife shaving his face. Ting clenched his fists, his knuckles turned white, but he stared at the village chief's eyes. in the depths of those cloudy pupils, there seemed to be a trace of imperceptible dimness, like hidden sadness. His heartbeat was racing, and his mind was racing. The announcement said, "Read your eyes carefully." There was something wrong with this old man's eyes. His fingers were hanging on the options, and the player's disdainful eyes were shining on his back. Someone pushed his shoulder. "Get out of the way, it's our turn." "Fuck you," Ting growled, decisively choosing the hidden branch. The system prompt flashed, "Observation successful, hidden selection unlocked. 3, Village Chief, are you hiding the past of the village in your eyes?" The village chief's body froze, his cloudy eyes suddenly lit up, and the corners of his mouth twitched, as if he was being poked into something. The surrounding air suddenly stagnated, the player's breathing became rapid, and some people gasped, "What the hell?" Hidden options. Dialogue changes. The village chief's voice trembled, "Boy, have you seen it? The old story of the village, the monster massacred the village 10 years ago, I lived alone, and my qualification for job transfer was hidden deep in my heart. Only those who understand my eyes are worthy of the fateful decision." He waved his hand, and golden light burst out of the soil, directly into the center of Ting's eyebrows. The system prompts, "Congratulations. Job transfer qualifications unlocked. Exclusive hidden path, Dharma God or Warrior, the choice is yours for life. The world channel is groundbreaking. Passenger A, damn it. Unparalleled trigger hiding of Brother Ting. Tang Long, your guild is so stupid. Dragon Soul Brother, is it fake? How is it possible, this Sanran is going against the will of heaven? Admiring fans, Brother Ting is awesome. Who discovered the details in the eyes? Kneel down. Ting's heart was filled with ecstasy, exhaustion swept away, and his blood boiled as if it was about to explode. He felt the golden light flowing through his body, the warmth flowing through his limbs, and his muscles bulging faintly. Change job. Is the Dharma God a high-risk outbreak, or is the warrior stable? But this qualification has been reversed. With a swipe of his finger, he sent a private message to his brother Chen Yi, "Brother E, come to Novice Village quickly. I unlocked the hidden qualifications for job transfer." The eyes in the announcement reminded me that all the idiots in the guild missed it. "Form a team together, this wave is about to happen." Chen Yi replied instantly, "What? Your boy cheated again? Wait for me, fly now." But Tang Long Guild is eyeing you, the channel has swiped your ID, and a conflict is coming. Chen Yi's character rushed from the entrance of the village like a black shadow, his footsteps causing the earth to fly, and the smell of earthy soil hit his nose. Ting was still standing in front of the village chief's hut, with the lingering golden light around him still lingering, and his skin felt faintly hot, as if it had been repeatedly washed away by heat. He turned around to look, and saw that Chen Yi's sturdy warrior body was close at hand. The iron armor collided with a clang sound, and virtual particles that looked like beads of sweat rolled down from his forehead, evaporating a faint rusty heat. "Brother Ting. You're so damn good." Chen Yi gasped and rushed forward, hugging Ting's shoulders. The force was so strong that Ting felt that his shoulder blades were almost dislocated, and it was painful and refreshing. The world's channels are going crazy. Tang Long's gang of grandsons have flooded the screen with scolding you for cheating. I'm so angry just looking at it. Form a team, quickly. The surrounding players instantly exploded, and someone pushed forward, their eyes widened like copper bells, and their breathing became a buzzing sound. Damn it, Chen Yi is here too? What are these two Sanran brothers doing? Brother Ting hides his qualifications, Chen Yi is a fighting genius, isn't the combination invincible? The Tang sect is going to die. A thin archer passerby couldn't help but whisper, his voice trembling like leaves falling in the wind, his eyes full of admiration and envy, as if Ting was no longer immortal. The system prompts ding, and the team formation is completed. Ting's heart felt warm. The brothers' tacit understanding has been practiced since the server was launched. With a swipe of his finger, the map interface popped up, and the golden light qualification automatically unlocked the hidden map, the forbidden forest behind the village. The deep entrance was shrouded in grey mist, and the air was filled with the musty smell of damp rotten leaves, mixed with the faint roar of wild beasts. "Let's go, the treasure chest is over there." The announcement mentioned that it must be opened before changing jobs. The two sneaked into the forbidden forest side by side, with fallen leaves piled up under their feet. Every step made a crunching sound, like stepping on broken bones. Chen Yi opened the way in front, the wind roared as he swung the giant sword, and the juice splashed when he cut off the vines, leaving a sticky feeling on his skin. Ting followed closely, inhaling the strong smell of vegetation through his nostrils, his heart beating like a war drum, excitement mixed with a trace of hesitation. His job transfer was imminent, and if the Dharma God's high-risk path failed to explode, wouldn't it be useless? Deep in the forest, a stone altar entwined with vines emerged, with an ancient treasure chest squatting in the middle. The iron lock glowed with a faint blue light, and its tentacles were as cold iron. Chen Yi wiped his virtual sweat and his Adam's apple rolled. "Brother Ting, the condition for opening the box is to be eligible for job transfer, touch it." Ting took a deep breath, pressed the lid of the box with his palm, and felt the rough grainy feeling of metal on his fingertips. With a muffled click sound, the box slowly opened. The golden light burst out and shot straight into the sky. It was so dazzling that Ting squinted his eyes. The female voice of the system echoed in his ears, "Congratulations. The hidden artifact, Key of Destiny, is bound." Effect, enhanced job transfer path, Dharma God burst plus 300%, warrior defense plus 20%. The choice is made, no regrets. A crystal key floated in the box and penetrated into Ting's chest. Warmth flowed through his meridians like lava. His muscles twitched and his sense of strength surged. He couldn't help but growl, and his knuckles crackled as he clenched his fists. Ting's heart sank, and hesitation came like a tide. Chen Yi was right, a soldier is stable, but if the Dharma God overturns, wouldn't the Brotherhood be damaged? But his heart was burning with dissatisfaction, and the guild was squandering its resources. If he didn't fight, he would always be the laughingstock of the individual people. He stared at Chen Yi, the corner of his mouth twitched, and his voice was low but firm. "Brother Yi, you are being conservative. The warrior is stable, but the upper limit is low, and he will never catch up with that bastard Tang Long. The risk of the magic god is high, but with the artifact in hand, a wave will explode in seconds." The announcement said, "Destiny decision, if you don't gamble, how can you go against the will?" The air was as oppressive as before a storm. The two looked at each other. Veins popped up on Chen Yi's forehead, and he made a gurgling sound in his throat. His eyes turned from worry to confusion. You are stubborn. If you die, how can I carry it alone?" Chen Yi's eyes straightened, his breathing quickened, and he banged his giant sword on the ground. "Brother Ting, the artifact is awesome. But, change your job and choose a warrior. Steady output, strong resistance, no matter how many people from the Tang sect, they can't defeat our tank style. God of magic. High risk, mana is tight, there is a wave of team battle GG, your time is precious, don't waste it." His eyes flashed, his brows were furrowed, his tone was full of worry, like an old woman thinking, and his fists were clenched unconsciously, as if he was afraid that Ting would fall into the fire pit. After hearing the news, the players in the surrounding forest rushed to watch. Some people whispered, "I heard that Brother Ting's artifact is bound." Chen Yi persuades the soldiers. Are the scattered people still fighting among themselves? Shut up, look at Brother Ting's eyes, with such fierceness, he will definitely choose the Dharma God. Awesome. The admiration of passers-by archers spread like ripples, making Ting's back straighten. Ting laughed, his hesitation disappeared, and his confidence erupted like a volcano. "Brother Yi, believe me. We have fought from novice village to now, and how have we not gone against each other? Let's open up the path to the god of magic to the end." He decisively clicked on the god of magic path with his finger, and the artifact buzzed, surrounded by blue flames. Passeray, Brother Ting chooses Dharma God. The artifact assist is incredible. Tang Long, get out. Dragon Soul Brother, is it fake? The Sanren Dharma God, laugh to death and wait for the group to be destroyed. The sound of the horse's hooves exploded like wild waves, and the mist at the edge of the forbidden forest was trampled and dispersed in all directions, mixed with the dull sound of iron hoofs hitting the soil and the heat wave of the horse's heavy breathing. Yen Ting's body of the magic god covered in blue flames was still trembling slightly. The magic power of his new job surged through his meridians like a tide, and a layer of cold electric arc touch appeared on the surface of his skin. He subconsciously clenched the staff, and his knuckles turned white from the exertion. Chen Yi was already holding his sword forward. The pungent smell of rust evaporated from the sweat-like particles on the armor, and he let out a low roar in his throat. Brother Ting, retreat. These gangsters from the Tang sect are coming with a lot of force, at least 10 riders. Chen Yi was stunned for a moment, then suddenly enlightened, his eyes turned from worry to fanatical admiration, and he punched Yen Ting on the shoulder, feeling a mixture of pain and pain. Fuck. You can do it. I'm convinced. From now on, Dharma God plus Tank will conquer the server. We vow to jointly open up Wasteland and overthrow the Tang sect. The tacit understanding between the brothers is like iron, and the air is filled with the salty, wet heat of victory. But just when the job transfer was in full glory, the sound of horse hooves outside the forest rolled like thunder, and the flag of the Tang Long Guild loomed faintly, with murderous intent. The woman was wearing a moon-white robe, and the corners of the robe brought out a faint fragrance of lavender, which was incompatible with the moldy smell of rotten leaves around her. Her hair was as long as a waterfall, and her face was hidden in the shadow of the hood, revealing only a pair of eyes as cold stars. She was lowering her head and stroking the vines on the edge of the stone altar, as if the murderous aura around her had nothing to do with her. Yen Ting's heart skipped a beat, and the embarrassment of the new magic god surged up like a pinprick. His mana was still slowly recharging, and although his explosive power was strong, wouldn't it cost him his life if he got close? Brother E, protect that woman, don't fight forcefully yet. He whispered, his voice slightly unsteady, virtual cold sweat oozing out of his palms, so sticky that the staff almost slipped off. The buzz of whispers among players in the forest was instantly suppressed by the murderous atmosphere. Someone staggered when they stepped back, and there was a crisp click when they stepped on dead branches. The air was filled with the damp smell of fear and sweat. The leader of the Tang clan boy, a night player with a sinister face, reined in his horse and stopped. The front hooves of the mount were raised high, and a splash of mud flew directly into Yen Ting's face, and the smell of earth penetrated his nose. He glanced at the 4. Next to the stone altar in the forest, a slender figure quietly emerged. The Night Brother laughed, waved his riding whip, and made a sharp and harsh gasp. Hey, Sanren Dharma God. I heard that you cheated to transfer. Brothers came to inspect the goods. Who is that girl? How dare a fragile mage wander around in the forbidden forest? Get out of here, no. Then I'll step on you all too. His eyes glanced at You Zhen greedily, and the corners of his mouth curved obscenely. 5 or 6 Tang clan boys around him laughed in agreement. The clang of weapons clashing was like a symphony of ridicule, and the air was so suppressed that Yen Ting's chest felt tight. The young knight's expression darkened, and he whipped his riding crop towards You Zhen's feet. Mud splashed onto the corners of her robe, and she frowned slightly, but did not take a step back. Why are you pretending to be cold? A female mage who doesn't have enough breast milk dares to speak harshly. Brothers, come on. Destroy the Sanren Dharma God first, and then take her back to the guild's warm bed. The younger brothers rushed at her with a sinister smile, sword light like a net, wind pressure hitting her face, with the stench of sweat and metal. Chen Yi roared angrily and swept his giant sword across. The wind howled and blocked the 3 of them. However, the 2 archers behind had already drawn their bows and aimed at You Zhen. The arrows shot through the air with a whoosh, sending a chill straight to her heart. Yan Ting's mind buzzed, and the novice's embarrassment instantly turned into raging anger, a hero saving a beauty? Damn, this is the opportunity. The artifact, Key of Destiny, burned like a soldering iron in his chest, and his magic power surged by 300%. Blue flames burst out from the staff. He roared, "Brother E, control the field. These grandsons, give me a second." With one wrong step, the magic god's movement was as agile as the wind, and the air in the swollen sleeves was distorted. The tip of his staff pointed directly at the knight's younger brother, Starburst technique. The blue flame condensed into a ball of light the size of a fist, and there was a muffled boom when fired. The heat wave made his cheeks hurt. The ball of light hit the knight's breastplate and exploded into a sea of fire. The armor melted and made a sizzling sound. The knight screamed and fell off his horse. His skin was charred and smoking, and he was rolling on the ground in pain. His nose was filled with the smell of burning meat. You Zhen slowly raised her head, her eyes were like daggers, and her hood slipped a little, revealing her delicate jawline. Her voice was as cold as ice spring, but with an unmistakable edge. A lackey of the Tang sect is also qualified to inspect goods. There are ruins of the NPC branch in this stone altar, and the clues for career advancement are in the vine runes. If you continue to argue and destroy it, even Tang Long's ultimate mission will be interrupted. She tapped the vine with her finger, a green light flashed, and the system prompt faintly appeared, hidden branch, the Dharma God advancement, star curse, need to repel the interferer. Yanting's eyes lit up and his heart beat wildly. This woman knows the NPC branch? Deeper than the announcement. Chen Yi laughed wildly, smashing the last one with his giant sword, and the loud noise of the armor collision made the ground tremble. Brother Ting, this is amazing. Is there still half the mana left? You Zhen stood on the spot, her hood completely slipped off, revealing her beautiful face. The coldness in her eyes melted away, turning into a glimmer of inquiry, and the corner of her mouth smiled slightly young, with a curious softness in his voice. Not bad. The hidden branch has been triggered, and your Dharma God path is worthy of the Key of Destiny. Repelling the interference, the system mission is unlocked. A 3-person team challenges the Forbidden Forest mini-boss, Shadowthorn Guardian, and you will get advanced magical skills after clearing the level. She flicked her fingers, and the team invitation popped up with a ding. The scent of lavender was fragrant, and Yan Ting's heart felt warm. He clicked to agree, and the 3-person team was instantly formed, with the golden edge of the interface shining. The surrounding passers-by players were shocked. An archer who had previously admired his eyes widened and his breathing was as fast as a bellows. Holy shit. Brother Ting has become a magic god, and he can instantly become a knight with one shot. The artifact is so awesome that the young man from the Tang sect is crying. Invincible, Sister You Zhen's eyes have changed, from indifference to curiosity. Whispers came like a flood, making Yan Ting's back feel hot, and his confidence was like erupting lava. He turned around and swiped his staff, and the blue flame whip flew away the 2 archers. The quiver landed with a jingling sound. They hit the tree and vomited blood. Their eyes changed from contempt to horror. Impossible. How can a novice Dharma god do this? Yan Ting gasped and stood still, the aftermath of the magic power still making his fingertips tingle. Overflowing with confidence, he stared at You Zhen. Beauty, thank you for the invitation. That look just now, thought I was a useless novice. You Zhen hummed, her eyes flickered, and she avoided his gaze, but she couldn't hide her lips. Angle Radian, this young lady never misses anyone. It's just. I didn't expect Sanren to be so cruel. The little boss Thorn ignores defense and has a tight mana capacity. Can you do it? Chen Yi wiped his sword and stepped forward, grinning. Brother Ting is here, kill him instantly. Let's go. The blood-red giant eyes were fully open from the mist, and with the sound of cracking, bones rubbing, a huge beast slowly crawled out of the depths of the stone altar, the Shadowthorn Guardian. Its body is like a twisted ancient tree, its vine arms are as thick as buckets, and the ends are covered with barbs and thorns. Every time it squirms, it stirs up the sand of soil on the ground. The air is filled with the sour stench of rotting plants, making people's chest feel tight. The low roar was like thunder rolling out from the depths of his throat, making Yen Ting's eardrums buzz. His newly transferred magic nerves were still aching, and the aftermath of his magic power made his fingertips cold and tingling. He gritted his teeth, and a wave of unwilling blood surged in his heart. Fuck, is this the threshold for advancement? Only 40% of the mana is left. Isn't it like seeking death in close combat? But deep inside the stone altar, the ground suddenly shook with a boom, the vines squirmed like living creatures, a cold roar seeped out from the mist, and a pair of giant blood-red eyes slowly opened. You Zhen's eyes flashed, her fingers flicked, and the moon-white robe stirred up the fragrance of lavender in the breeze. She whispered, "Frost-binding technique." The ice-blue halo spread from the tip of the staff, and a click, freezing sound sounded. The vines under the guardian's feet were stiff and frosty, but the giant beast roared, and the ice shattered like the crisp sound of glass exploding, and the fragments streaked through the air. With a chill on her face turned pale, and she took a half-step back, with a rare urgency in her voice, unstable field control. "Yen Ting, your star explosion technique is aimed at the core eye. But the amount of blue, can it hold up?" Her eyes flickered with tentative doubts, and Yen Ting was confused. Is this woman still doubting that he is a newbie? The surrounding passers-by players had already retreated to the edge of the forest, breathing as fast as a bellows. An archer who had witnessed the instant kill had his eyes widened and his voice trembled. "Damn it, guardian of the Shadow Thorn. The younger brother of the Tang sect has just been defeated. How dare this three-person team dare to fight hard? The magic god's blue energy is about to dry up, and Sister You Zhen's control of the field is broken. Is the individual going to overturn? No way, Brother Ting has the artifact in his hand, look at his eyes, murderous. God!" The whispers were like a flood, which made Yen Ting's back feel hot. Confidence and pressure were intertwined, and he growled, "Stop talking nonsense, trust me." The staff was raised high, and the blue flames barely condensed. The heat wave blistered in the palm of the hand, and the starburst ball of light shot out with a bang, hitting the giant eye. Pfft! The smell of rotten meat exploded in his nose, and the guardian screamed and fell back, but the counterattack became more fierce, and the vines swept the three people. Just when the guardian was about to overwhelm Chen Yi's defense line, a loud roar suddenly erupted from the edge of the forest. "Fuck! Brother Ting, you can't stand it anymore. I'm here." A tank player Sun Yu, who was as strong as an iron tower, came out with heavy weight on his body. The armor collided with a clang, and the ground was dented by his footsteps. His giant shield swung horizontally, and bang! He withstood the vines and whipped him. The muffled sound of the dent on the shield made his arms numb. Sweat beads slid down his forehead, and the salty smell mixed into his nose. System prompt, my friend Sun Yu applied to join the team. Yen Ting's eyes lit up, and his heart felt warm. This guy is an offline best friend, has full tank talent, and specializes in opening hidden boxes. He quickly agreed. The golden edge of the four-person team shone brightly. Sun Yu grinned, "Brother Ting, Brother E, beauty. I heard that you triggered the job transfer branch. I am late to open up Wasteland, so let's do this beast first." The guardian was furious, and the thorns fell like raindrops. The sound of whoosh broke through the air endlessly. Sun Yu's shield pressed forward, and the bone-breaking pain was felt in his body. He gritted his teeth, fuck, ignoring 20% of defense. The blood line dropped like crazy. Chen Yi gasped and took up the position, with a hoarse voice, "Brother Yu, hold on, Ting Jelen is back." You Zhen frowned, and glanced at Sun Yu's blood-red health bar, new tank. No blood defense. It's pure enough, the field control missed the southeast corner, can you? Don't hold back. Her words were like ice needles. Sun Yu's face froze, and the shield hit harder. The loud bang was mixed with a low self-esteem. I've opened 10 hidden boxes, so this little thorn is nothing. The tension of the conversation was like a bowstring, and Yen Ting's heart tightened. Damn it, this misunderstanding must be solved, or the team will break up. The Guardian's roar escalated, the ground cracked and vines grew thickly. Sun Yu's shield finally cracked with a crisp, click sound, and the health bar dropped to 10%. He hit his knees on the ground, the soil was cold and biting, his vision was blurred, and unwillingness was squeezed out of his throat. Fuck. I'm a tank, it's useless. Brother Ting, I'm sorry. A passerby screamed, the tank collapsed. The 4-man team is going to be wiped out. Tang clan is laughing to death. Wait, Brother Ting's eyes have changed, he is as calm as a falcon. Want to use a bigger move? Admiration and suspicion intertwined, the sense of belonging to the team in Yen Ting's chest was like a volcanic eruption, the key of destiny pulsed hotly, and the magic power surged. He shouted, Brother you, believe me. The whole team retreats, the star curse, explode. The staff waved wildly, and the blue flame turned into a whirlpool of stars, boom, long, roared like thunder, the heat wave and the arc intertwined and the air was distorted. The vortex swallowed the core of the Guardian. The giant beast's vines withered and sizzled and burned. The blood-red giant eye exploded and juice splashed everywhere. The smell was astounding. It fell to the ground with a crash, and the ground shook like an earthquake. The system's golden light flourished. Kill the Shadow Thorn Guardian, the mission is completed. Unlock the intermediate copy, Thorn Heart's Secret Realm, and a hidden treasure chest will appear. Reward, Dharma God's Advanced Skill, Destiny Explosion, the whole team's experience plus 5,000. Sun Yu sat paralyzed, panting like an ox, and his health bar slowly returned. He raised his head and stared at Yen Ting, his eyes turning from inferiority to fanatical gratitude. Brother Ting, your ultimate move is against the sky, I almost dragged everyone down. From now on, the 4-man team will be fixed, you brothers' loyalty. Open the box and charge. You Zhen's eyes were soft and she nodded lightly, I admit, I underestimated you. Chen Yi patted Sun Yu on the shoulder, and the iron armor collided with a clang, the iron triangle becomes the iron square, defeat Tang Long. Chen Yi was the first to react. He swung his giant sword with a buzz sound, and the iron armor made a screeching sound like sparks. He shouted, Brother Ting, You Zhen, retreat. I'll hold on. He stepped on the ground, and cold water droplets splashed from the mud and hit his leg armor. He rushed forward, and the sword blade slashed straight at the Guardian's forelimb, Tsang. The loud collision of metal and thorns caused the surrounding leaves to fall. The Guardian's arm swung, and the vines were whipped like whips. Chen Yi could not dodge sideways, and a bloody gash was cut on his shoulder. The hot smell of blood sprayed instantly filled the air. He groaned, bent his knees slightly, and almost fell to his knees. The vines at the entrance to the secret realm opened, and the hidden treasure box emerged. Sun Yu stood up, with the giant shield in front. Brother Ting, the box guards need to be cleared. I'm here to buy you time. But as soon as the box lid was lifted, poisonous mist, hissed, spewed out from the shadows, and countless thorn beast guards sprang out, with claws and claws like knives, attacking the 4 of them with murderous intent. The broken edge of Sun Yu's shield reappeared, and his health bar dropped. Yen Ting's heart tightened. The staff that had just finished the ultimate move was still hot to his hands, and the magic aftermath made his fingertips tingle like electric shocks. But his eyes were like knives, scanning Sun Yu's blood-red health bar, and his anger surged. Fuck, these Iron Tower brothers have just joined, and they are going to fall. Brother Yu, stand back. Starburst. He roared, the pulsating heat wave of the key of destiny poured into his meridians, blue flames exploded from the tip of the staff with a boom, and 3 light balls trailed like meteors. The twisted heat wave of the air burned the fur of the surrounding thorn beasts to black. Puff, puff, there were continuous popping sounds, and the juice splashed like hot oil splashing on snow, and the stench hit your nostrils. Chen Yi's giant sword swept across, and the iron armor collided with each other, making up for the fish that had slipped through the net. The wet, crack sound of the sword cutting meat made him grin wildly. "Brother Ting, do you still have some mana left? I'm so excited." Sun Yu's giant shield clicked, and the cracks on the edge spread like a spider web. The claws of the thorn beast guard swished through the air, blowing the face with a fishy wind, and the sharp scraping sound was like fingernails scraping a blackboard, directly piercing the membranes. His knees weakened, and cold wet particles of soil splashed onto his face. The red light from the blood bars blurred his vision. His chest felt like burning pain, sweat mixed with blood dripped down his chin, and the salty smell filled his mouth. "Damn, these little beasts ignore 20% of the shield effect. Brother Ting, hurry up." He roared hoarsely, his throat felt like he had swallowed gravel. The lid of the box opened with a buzz, and the golden light was as dazzling as the blazing sun. A crystal admission ticket appeared inside, and the tentacles were as cold and smooth as jade. The system prompt sounded, "Obtain the Thorn Heart competition ticket and go straight to the intermediate arena. The job transfer trial begins, the winner gets the divine outfit, and the loser's spot goes to the guild." Yen Ting squeezed the coupon tightly, and her heart surged with enthusiasm. What's the next step in the job transfer system? That bastard Tang Long must be eyeing this. The four of them looked at each other, and Chen Yi clenched his fist. "Let's go, let's see the truth in the arena. Iron four corners, overthrow the Tang sect." The entrance vortex swallowed them up, their bodies felt like falling into an ice cave, and chills rushed into their bones. You Zhen flicked her fingers, and the frost-binding technique clicked to freeze the last wave. With the crisp sound of the frost breaking, her eyes swept over Sun Yu, and her voice softened half a minute. "The tank is holding up well, the box is stable." Sun Yu gasped and stood firm, the dent on the shield was still aching, so he wiped away the sweat and grinned. "Girls, who said I was holding you back just now? I'll prove it to you." There was a hint of sarcasm in the words, and the corner of You Zhen's mouth twitched slightly, but she didn't say anything, just a hint of amusement flashed in her eyes. In the arena, the sand was as hot as an oven, and the air was filled with the smell of sweat and rust. Hundreds of players were packed into the auditorium, and the roars were like a wave of boom, boom, shaking the chests. Surrounded by giant stone pillars, the sun shines brightly, making the sand grains shine gold. A group of people from the Tang Long Guild occupied the central high platform. Tang Long himself leaned on the railing, with a sneer on his lips, and his eyes like a wolf staring at a sheep. There were numerous Tang sect disciples in armor all around him, and there was a constant clang of weapons clashing. Yen Ting's face was livid, the anger in his chest was like a frying pan exploding, his knuckles turned white when he pinched them, and his staff was faintly hot. "Weak chicken. I have a hidden box artifact in my hand, are you a bastard worthy of ridicule? Come on for a duel," he said coldly, his voice like an ice blade cutting through the air. Chen Yi's fighting spirit was high, he raised his giant sword, and sparks flew out from the friction of the armor. "Brother Ting, kill him. My blood is boiling." Sun Yudun crossed his chest, the blood bar was still red, gritting his teeth. "Little bastard, how dare you underestimate Brother Yu?" You Zhen gently pulled Yen Ting's sleeves, the fragrance of lavender was fragrant, and he lowered his voice. Said, "Forbearance, the competition rules are 1v1. If you win, your place will be guaranteed." But his agility talent, 95% close dodge, your starburst prediction, will it work? Her touch was soft as silk, and her eyes were tentative with concern. Yen Ting felt warm in his heart, and his anger turned into calmness. "Watch it." The golden-haired assassin jumped into the scene with a ferocious smile, and the dagger swished the phantom clone. The sand and dust rolled up a pungent yellow mist. He taunted, "Weak chicken, try drying the blue." The figure approached like a ghost, the cold light of the dagger pierced Yan Ting's throat, and the wind pressure hurt his face. The audience gasped, "It's only seconds, the Tang sect boy is so fast. The god of law is standing still waiting to die." Yan Ting did not dodge or dodge, blue flames flashed in his eyes, his mentality was like a falcon hunting, arrogant devil, the trajectory is all within the prediction. Curse of the stars, hidden explosion. The staff muttered, and the invisible vortex spread silently. The golden-haired assassin froze, his face suddenly changed, his muscles twitched like electric shocks, and his throat burst out in panic. What? Hidden field control. Can't be broken. His dagger froze midway, and his health bar dropped by 30%. His knees hit the sand with a muffled sound, and the sand splashed and hit his face with burning heat. A vengeful sneer appeared at the corner of Yan Ting's mouth, his magic power surged, and his fingertips were icy hot. Destiny explodes. The galaxy's beam of light plummeted with a bang, white light exploded in front of Golden Retriever's eyes, heat waves and arcs tore the air, the stench of burning flesh and blood filled the air instantly, he screamed in agony, his health bar was cleared, and his body turned into ashes and drifted away. There was a moment of dead silence in the stadium, and then the audience roared like an earthquake, "Fuck! Kill the Tang sect assassin in an instant." The new Dharma god's stealth skills are incredible. The iron four horns are awesome, Tang Long's face is green. I admire Brother Ting. A female player screamed and hugged her legs, "Brother Ting, marry me. That prediction is so handsome." The admiration from the side was like a tide, making Yan Ting's back feel hot, and the anger turned into ecstasy, and her heart roared, "It's a slap in the face. Tang Long, you are next." System Golden Light, competition victory. The reward is the job-changing divine robe, star veil, all attributes plus 20%, and the reputation is beginning to appear, the rumor of the Sanren Dharma god. Tang Long's face turned livid, his fist hit the railing and cracked, and his eyes showed murderous intent. "Sanren, you are finished." Chen Yi laughed and slapped Yan Ting on the shoulder, his armor clanking, "Brother Ting, you are full of fighting spirit. I will fight next time." Sun Yu roared his allegiance, You Zhen came closer, his voice was smooth and silky, and the fragrance of lavender became stronger. Private information. Tang Long has locked the ultimate job-changing NPC in the hidden temple in the East District. Your divine key is the key. But his guild has ambushed you. Trust me, let's go together. Her eyes were soft and her breath was warm. Yan Ting's heart skipped a beat. When she nodded, shadows suddenly surged around the edge of the arena. Tang Long personally led the elite murderous approach. The moment the four of them landed, the younger brother from the Tang sect burst into flames. A golden-haired assassin sprang out, his dagger whirling with a sharp sound as it pierced the air. He looked up and down at Yan Ting's robe and laughed disdainfully, "Hey, isn't this a weakling Sanren who just turned into a Dharma god? Isn't the boss of Shadow Thorn a trick of yours? Lan Liang is fragile. Hi, come to the competition to die. Brother Tang, warm up for the brothers." Whispers broke out in the audience, and an archer who had witnessed the secret realm before stared, "Damn it, the iron four corners are here. The Dharma god star explodes against the sky, is the Tang sect's boy looking for death? Hey, the new Dharma god, touched the porcelain Tang sect. The health bar is seconds." Yan Ting gritted his teeth, clenched his staff tightly, his knuckles were as hot as a soldering iron, the sleeves of his star gauze robe trembled slightly, and the aftermath of the magic power made his meridians tingle. "Chen Yi, brother you, protect the wings." You Zhen retreats, the competition ticket opens the way. Chen Yi made a horizontal move with his giant sword, and the muscles of his iron arm swelled like steel cables, roaring, "Come on, you bastard, I'll stand up." Sun Yu raised his shield, the cracks on the shield were still aching, his throat she yelled hoarsely, "Brother Ting, go first, brother you." You Zhen flicked her fingers slightly, the frost mist spread with a click, and the cold moisture hit everyone's face. She came closer to Yan Ting, the scent of lavender mixed with the nervous breath hit her nose, and whispered stingingly, "Tang Long can't stop him, the ticket is a job transfer ticket that goes straight to the maze. But there are many illusions in it, and if you believe in the wrong person, the whole group will be destroyed. Can you do it, Dharma God?" Before he finished speaking, Tang Long waved his hands with a ferocious smile, and the elite dagger pierced the air with a whoosh. The wind pressure made his face hurt, and Yen Ting's heart trembled. "Damn, you can't get close. Activate." He crushed the Thorn Heart competition ticket, and the crystal fragments exploded into the golden whirlpool with a buzz. The heat wave rushed into the bone marrow like lava. The bodies of the 4 people were instantly twisted and elongated, and the vision was spinning. In his ears, the audience roared loudly, Iron Four Corners ran away. Tang Long capsized in the sewer. It stopped abruptly, leaving only the bone-gnawing chill of falling into the ice cave. Tang Long smashed his fist into the air, and the dust choked his nose. His face was twisted like a ghost, and his murderous intent became more intense. "Chase. I will block the exit of the maze." When the vortex spit out, the 4 of them stumbled to the ground. The stone bricks under their feet were clammy and sticky like rotten flesh. The air was filled with the stench of mold, rot and blood. The entrance to the labyrinth of job transfer and destiny was eerie. The vines on the walls squirmed like living insects. The rustling, friction sound penetrated the eardrums and made people's scalp numb. Yen Ting gasped and propped up his staff. The star gauze robe was filled with mist and felt cold against the skin. He glanced at the dark passage, and his blue eyes locked on the faintly pulsing gold thread in the wall, fragments of the artifact. Mental ecstasy surged, but she suppressed her vigilance. The illusion that You Zhen said was no child's play. Iron Four Corners, move forward in formation. Brother Yu opens the way, Chen Yi flanks, and You Zhen controls the field. I'll break up and keep an eye on the anomalies. The voice was as steady as a hammer, and every word that landed made the team's spine straighten. Sun Yu's huge shield was in front, and he knocked open the vines with a dong dong. The juice splashed out and hit his nostrils. He grinned, "Brother Ting, don't worry, Brother Yu is invincible." Chen Yi's giant sword slashed, and the wet sound of crack echoed as the flesh and bones broke. Hot Blood laughed loudly, "This maze rotten cock thing, I can level it with one sword." You Zhen followed lightly. Then, the frost binding technique occasionally clicked to freeze the tentacles on the side wall. There was a crisp sound of ice fragments breaking. She glanced at Yen Ting's back and said softly, "The information is accurate, the fragments are in the core hull. But the trap trigger rate is 90%, and the illusion is the most poisonous, it will dig out suspicion in the heart." Her words were like silk threads, and Yen Ting's heart trembled slightly. "Suspicion? I believe in the 4 corners." The passage was narrow and cramped, and the walls undulated like breathing. The hot breath mixed with sulfur smoked the nose. Suddenly, the stone bricks collapsed under the feet, and countless black shadow vines burst out, hissing like poisonous snakes devouring the air. Sun Yu blocked with a shield, and a loud bang made his arms numb. The vine thorns scratched the shield and sparks flew everywhere. He shouted, "Brother Ting, trap." Yen Ting's star exploded and fired continuously. The blue flames exploded in a scorching heat wave. The juice evaporated and made a sizzling sound. Chen Yi's last attack continued with laughter. After advancing for half a moment, the air suddenly condensed, the fog came in like a living thing, the vision blurred into gray, and the phantom voice whispered in the ear like a ghost whispering, "Betrayal, weak chicken, holding back." Panic was like an ice needle piercing the heart. The first person to collapse was Sun Yu. His shield shook, and his health bar dropped inexplicably. He turned to glare at You Zhen, his voice trembling and angry, "Old girl. You were 0.5 seconds late with the frost spell just now. Did you do it on purpose? You want to trick my tank position and steal Brother Ting's artifact?" Beads of sweat slid down the Iron Tower's forehead, and the salty taste went into his mouth. He squeezed it with his fist, and his eyes flashed with suspicion like a wild beast. You Zhen's face turned pale, the frost wand trembled slightly, and the cold mist bit back at her fingertips. You are so savage. How many times have I rescued you with intelligence? Tank waste, blame me. Her voice was sharp, and the lavender fragrance turned pungent and sour. With tears in her eyes, she turned to Ting. Ting, he doubts me, who do you believe? Chen Yi's giant sword hit the ground with a kong, his muscles stiffened, and his breathing was as heavy as a bellows. Brother you, are you fucking brainless? Sister you is as stable as a dog in controlling the field. Wait, brother Ting, how come your magic mana is full? After the competition, are you hiding your big move to trick us? His eyes wandered, veins popped out in his iron arm, and the cracks in the brotherhood were looming. The surrounding fog and illusions took shape. Ting's betrayal shadow popped out, laughing at weak chickens and scattered people, swallowing the pieces alone. Sun Yu's drag shadow laughed, and You Zhen's insidious shadow whispered. The team glared at each other. The air was as oppressive as the sultry heat before a storm. The health bars all dropped by 10%, and panic spread like a virus. Ting's heart felt like it was falling into an ice cave, and he couldn't bear to be angry. Fuck, the illusion is digging into your heart. I observed keenly, and the golden threads pulsing in the cracks in the wall were pulsing simultaneously with suspicion. Where is the source? He took a deep breath of the moldy air, his chest was burning, he suppressed panic, and analyzed calmly like a blade. The pulsating frequency was synchronized with everyone's suspicions, and to break the illusion, you need to do the opposite. Stop. Iron Sijiao, listen to me. The voice was like thunder exploding into the fog. The staff hit the ground with a bang, the blue flames of the star gauze robe burst into flames, and the heat wave dissipated the gloomy fog. His eyes were like a torch, piercing Sun Yu. Brother Yu, your tank has proven to be ruthless, believe me unconditionally. He turned to You Zhen, Queen of Intelligence, your eyes tell me that you are not guilty. Finally, he glared at Chen Yi, brother, don't think blindly if you are hot-blooded. The three words fell to the ground, the golden threads in the wall trembled with a buzz, the phantom wailed and twisted, the team's health bar returned, and suspicion shattered like a bubble. Sun Yu's knees weakened, and the shield hit the ground with a thud. Tears and sweat dripped down, and his voice was choked with sobs. Ting, brother Ting, I'm sorry. I'm mentally retarded in the Iron Tower, and the illusion is a fucking cheat. You are the boss, and brother you swears to be loyal to you to the death. He knelt down on one knee, holding his fists with iron arms, and brotherly love erupted like lava. Chen Yi shook his head to wake up, put his giant sword on his shoulder and laughed. Fuck, brother Ting is amazing. I almost believe in ghosts. You Zhen wiped away tears, the lavender scent returned to gentleness. She came closer to Ting, touched her arm lightly with her soft fingers, and her arms were tingling like electricity. The god of Dharma has awakened his leadership. Handsome. Audience? No, at this moment, the phantom of the maze wall dispersed, and the hidden passers-by players sprang out, witnesses of the previous competition. An archer stared and screamed, what the hell? Iron Four Corners broke the illusion. Brother Ting has insight into the sky, and the leader of the Sanren is awesome. The group was wiped out and they fought back. Tang Long was so angry that he vomited blood when he heard about it. A wave of admiration and roars from the side made Ting's back feel hot, and he was bursting with confidence and ecstasy. I have awakened. The climax explodes, the golden wire in the wall breaks, the fragments of the artifact emerge, boom, the energy rages like a volcano, the scorching air waves burn the skin, the key of Ting's destiny is sucked in, the ZZ fusion arc tears the air, the meridians are recast like lava, and the pain rushes to the top, the limit of the magic god, improve. System golden light, fusion of fragments of destiny, Dharma god's ultimate, galaxy destruction plus 500%, all explosions. The team roared with excitement, the Iron Four's fists collided, bang bang, and the blood boiled like lava. Sun Yu laughed wildly, boss, the next wave will overthrow Tang Long. But at the end of the passage, shadows surged, Tang Long guild ambushed with murderous intent, and the hidden temple NPC whispered and echoed, the ultimate job change, bloody battle choice. The main hall of the hidden temple at the end of the passage was like a giant beast with a mouth full of blood. The stone pillars were twisted like broken bones, and the cracks in the ceiling leaked into the moonlight, sprinkling mottled silver frost. The air was as hot as a fermented corpse, mixed with the smell of rust, blood, and faint smoke. It made Yan Ting's nose feel itchy and his stomach was churning with discomfort. The marble tiles under his feet were slippery and greasy, and the squeaking sound was like fingernails scraping bones when he stepped on it. He tapped the ground lightly with his staff, his blue eyes swept over the shadows, and beads of sweat slid down his back. The coldness against his skin could not suppress the shock in his heart. Damn, this bastard Tang Long moves so fast. The murderous ambush is as strong as a real entity, and the assassin's trace has been locked. Ultimate career change, bloody battle decision. The hidden temple NPC's low voice echoed like a ghost's cry. The old voice penetrated the eardrums and made the oracles buzz. Yan Ting's heart shuddered. The star gauze swelled automatically, and the magic power surged through the meridians like a tide. The hot and painful swelling was mixed with excitement. But before he finished speaking, the surrounding shadows exploded, and dozens of black-robed assassins sprang out like ghosts. The cold light of the daggers flashed and reflected the moon, and the wind pressure hurt the face. The poisonous mist sprayed, hissing, and the sour and pungent nose rushed straight into the heart. The first dagger grazed Sun Yu's shoulder armor, sparks flew out, and iron filings burned his skin. He swung his huge shield, and, bang, knocked someone away. He groaned and shouted, "Brother Ting." The Nightingale of the Tang sect specializes in scheming to transfer resources. There are so many people, I can't hold the whole crowd. Chen Yi swung the giant sword wildly, and the wet sound of crack reverberated as the flesh tore apart, and hot blood splashed on his cheeks. His iron arm muscles swelled like tears, and he roared and gasped, "Fuck, 12. The poison escape technique, the blood bar dropped like crazy. The hair on the back of Yan Ting's neck stood up, and the crisis was like an ice tong sandwich. Tang Long's twisted grimace flashed in his mind, I just fused the fragments, and you sent a dog to snatch it away. Unwilling to get angry, he squeezed the staff tightly, his knuckles turned white and hot like iron, and growled, spread the four corners of the iron. Brother you, Chen Yi, lock the forward, You Zhen and I will attack with magic. The intelligence is suppressed, don't let them escape. The voice was calm but trembling at the edge. The team's backs straightened, but they heard the assassin the leader came out with a sinister smile, hunting in black robes, his dagger dripping poison, corroded the stone bricks and emitted white smoke. His eyes were like poisonous snakes. So Yanting said, the Sanran Dharma god. The head of the Tang clan ordered, seize the fragments and kill the four corners of the iron. That slut You Zhen, there is still a way to survive by joining the guild, otherwise we will kill you when it's your turn. You Zhen's frost staff trembled, her face turned as white as frost and snow, and the scent of lavender instantly turned to sour panic. She moved closer to Yan Ting, her hot breath hitting her cheeks mixed with her soft breasts and touching her arms lightly. Electric current rushed in, the information was leaked. Ting, I can't control the poisonous fog, do you believe I will blast the back row? The voice was sharp and trembling, tears twinkling in her eyes, and her dependence was like a vine. Yan Ting's heart softened, but he analyzed it calmly, the assassin leader's eyes were evasive and his steps were frivolous, his weakness lay in the shadow escape gap. He grasped You Zhen's slender wrist with his big hand, and the warm and smooth touch made her slightly startled. He whispered domineeringly, trust. Double star explosion, lock the boss. Her eyes softened, and the corners of her lips were slightly raised when she nodded, and romantic sparks suddenly appeared like sparks. Assassins rushed towards each other, dagger nets were hissing, poisonous mist filled the field of vision, and Sun Yu's shield hit the vibrator arm with a bang bang, and his arm was numb. Sweat poured into his mouth like rain. Old bitch, please help me. Brother Ting, these bitches are laughing at us. Sanren wastes. Chen Yi's health bar dropped by half, and the giant sword slashed King into the air, roaring, Brother you, 3 are missing from the flanks, go straight to the Dharma God. The leader grinned provocatively. Dharma God? Break it into pieces with one blast. The head of the Tang Long family said that your fragments are his. The air was as oppressive as the sweltering heat before a storm, and misunderstandings escalated in the conversation game. Sun Yu turned to glare at You Zhen, Queen of Intelligence. Was Qi Kong just a mole? She screamed angrily, Tank is brainless. Brother Shintings. The cracks in the team loomed, and the health bar dropped by 5%. Yen Ting's heart was twisted like a knife. Fuck, here again. But he keenly observed the pulse of the Tang sect badge on the leader's sleeve, the source of intelligence. That's enough. Yen Ting roared like thunder and exploded the palace. He raised his staff high, and the blue flames of his star gauze robe exploded with heat waves and dispersed the poisonous mist. His mentality changed from fright to ecstasy and calmness. I am the ultimate Dharma God, and the galaxy is destroying the world and awakening. You Zhen, chant with me. The two stood side by side, their staffs exchanged light, and the starburst technique, boom, intertwined in blue and white. The energy exploded like lava erupting. The scorching air wave burned the skin and tore the air. The stone fragments on the roof of the palace collapsed and hit the shoulders with pain. The assassin leader's eyes flashed with fear. Impossible. The two magic gods are working together. He escaped and retreated, but it was too late. The star beam of light poured out with a bang, and the flesh and blood of the 12 black shadows evaporated with a sizzling smell flying everywhere. The screams echoed like ghosts howling. Tang Long, conspiracy, guild war, the maze blood washed the 4 corners of the iron. All destroyed. The stone bricks were charred and cracked, and in the steaming heat, an information scroll exploded from the leader's body. It fell to the ground and rolled to his feet with a pop, golden light flashing. Passers-by and players hidden in the hall sprang out. The archer and female player were seen in the maze before. The archer stared and screamed, his voice trembling in admiration, fuck. The dual magic god Nightingale is 12 seconds away. Brother Ting is against the sky, the leader of the individual people is outrageous. Tang Long Guild is going to be cool. Iron 4 Corners is invincible, Sister Yu's milk volume is off the charts, Brother Ting's eyes are so handsome. The female player blushed and screamed, which made Yen Ting's back feel hot, and her confidence was like erupting magma. Sun Yuduan hit the ground with a thud and knelt down on one knee, choking with blood, sweat and tears. Brother Ting, brother you wrongly blamed Sister Yu, and I swear to be loyal to you to the death. The Iron Tower will block thousands of arrows for you. Chen Yi shouldered the giant sword and laughed, holding his fists with his iron arms. The boss's magic skill, brother's liver trembles. Tang Long is a bitch, the next battle will be chopped. Usually leaning on Yen Ting's arm, her soft fingers clenched tightly, the scent of lavender was gentle to her nose, her eyes were watery with dependence. Dharma God, you saved my innocence, your heart beats so handsome. I'll take a look at the information. She opened the scroll and whispered, Guild War Preview, Tang Long gathers 100 people to block the ultimate job transfer hall. Bloodbath us. Tang Long's boots stepped on the sand, making a muffled sound of crushing bones and gravel. The elites around him scattered like a pack of wolves, and the clang of the friction of armor merged into a net of murderous intent. The air instantly became stagnant like lead, and the smell of sweat and rust became stronger. The hair on the back of Yen Ting's neck stood up, and his chest was as heavy as a hammer. The whispers in the audience turned into a wave of exclamations. Tang Long took action himself. Is Sanren Iron 4 Corners going to be cold? Holy shit, Brother Ting just became an assassin, and now he is fighting in a group. A female player who had previously admired turned pale and screamed, "Brother Ting, be careful. The Tang clan has the strength in numbers." The stone door opened with a bang, blood splashed out like fresh meat juice, hot and fishy smell went straight into the nostrils, Yan Ting's staff pointed forward, blue flame eyes pierced the fog and his footsteps paused, the competition square in front suddenly appeared, and the preliminaries for the guild battle of thousands of people had begun. The circular sand field is 100 meters in diameter. The red sand is as wet and sticky as blood mud. It squeaks and sinks half an inch when you step on it. The air is mixed with the smell of sweat, rust and excited roars. The audience seats are layered in black, pressing down on people's heads, and torches the blazing swaying reflection distorted his face, and he screamed like a surging wave, "The Tang sect is invincible. Cut off the human dogs." A chill ran down Yan Ting's spine, beads of sweat dripped down his temples, and his lips were salty. His heart was beating wildly. Damn, is this the qualifiers? Tang Long came in person, and hundreds of people blocked the palace and turned into an open massacre. The NPC referee looked down with a sinister smile from the high platform, and pointed his skinny finger at Iron Four Corners. Iron Four Corners, challenged the Tang sect preliminaries. Are you brave? Go on the field and advance to the finals in 3 live rounds. Sun Yu's huge shield crossed, and the Kong hit the earth and the sand flew into the air. He was panting like an ox, blood and sweat stuck to his hair and stuck to his cheeks, and he stared and roared, "Brother Ting, this bastard has set up a siege." The intelligence said that Tang Long was hiding in the back row and sent 50 cannon fodder to warm up first. Chen Yi carried the giant sword on his shoulder, the veins in his iron arm stretched like steel wires, grinning but panting, "Boss, brother, step forward. Brother you, I'll flank you, kill him." You Zhen's frost staff trembled lightly, Sun the fragrance of the clothes and grass filled her nose with panic. She moved closer to Yan Ting, lightly touching her arm with her soft shoulder, and her hot breath hit her ears. "Ting, there are too many people, LE can't control the whole audience. I'm going to breastfeed you, but Tang Long's eyes are locked on your pieces." Yan Ting's heart tightened, and he held her slender wrist tightly, it was warm and smooth. The touch felt like electricity flowing through the veins, and he whispered domineeringly, "Don't let go. Defend for 3 seconds, then attack to clear the field." The team nodded, fists and palms struck each other with a crisp sound, and blood surged like lava, but the audience burst into laughter and taunted, "Sanran Dharma God. 1 round of corpses. On the Tang sect, kill again after the turn." The battlefield alarm bell rang out, and 50 people from the Tang sect rushed out like a pack of wolves. The black-robed hunter's wind hurt his face, the warrior's giant axe waved, whoosh, the archer's arrows rained, whoosh, and the mage's fireball bombed and exploded with sand, splashing hot mud and scalding the skin. Sun Yu was the first to bear the brunt, his giant shield collided with each other, bang bang, his iron arm was as numb as if it was broken, and he groaned, "I'm here to support you." Chen Yi sighed repair. His health bar dropped by 20%, and he was sweating like rain, blurring his vision. Chen Yi's giant sword tore through a man's chest, and hot blood spurted out on his face. His iron arm muscles swelled like tears, and he gasped and roared, "Fuck, 20 melee combat. Brother Ting, the firepower is missing." Yan Ting took 3 steps back, the star gauze robe automatically swelled, and the magic surge in the meridians was hot and painful. His psychology changed from passive shock to calm analysis. The weakness of the cannon fodder was in the gap between the concentrated fire, and the Tang sect mark on the leader's sleeve pulsated, Tang Long's remote control. But the audience laughed like knives, "Dharma God is a shrinking dog. You Zhen is a milk dog, and you can still drink milk if you join the Tang sect." Conflict breaks out, and dialogue games explode like gunpowder. The leader of the Tang clan, a strong warrior general, with blood dripping from the axe blade, tat, rotten sand, he approached Sun Yu with a ferocious smile, and shouted harshly, "Tank scrap metal, I heard you mistakenly blamed the traitor on your teammate. The four corners of the iron are cracked. Kneel down, Tang Long family leader, spare your life. Sun Yudun hit Dong, his face was ashen with blood, sweat and tears, and he glared at Chen Yi. I am loyal to brother Ting. But these dogs, the intelligence has leaked again. Chen Yi's sword power stagnated, and his health bar dropped by 15%. He turned around and questioned You Zhen, where's the amount of milk? It's too late to control the field. She trembled with her frost stick, her face turned pale and the fragrance of lavender turned sour, and she screamed and trembled, brother brainless. Xin Ting, I will lock the back row. The cracks in the team reappeared, and the fireball brushed against Yen Ting's shoulder, burning like a soldering iron. His heart was like a knife, and he couldn't give in. Fuck, another misunderstanding. But the keenly targeted leader's footsteps are frivolous and his sleeve prints are flashing, the weakness of the remote control. Iron Sijiao, listen to me. Yen Ting roared like thunder and exploded. He held his staff high and exploded with blue flames. The heat wave scattered the arrow rain. His mind turned and he was ecstatic and confident. I will destroy the galaxy and awaken AoE. You Chen is attracted, You Zhen chants. The audience is watching. Sun Yu heard the sound and turned around, knocking 5 people away with boom, and roared, brother Ting's oracle, I believe it. Chen Yi danced with his sword like the wind, tearing blood and splashing sand with laughter. The liver is shaking, the boss is invincible. You Zhen's eyes softened, watery dependence emerged, and the frost staffs glowed, Ting, together. The two magic gods chanted, and the energy of the star explosion surged like a galaxy. The blue and white light beam exploded with a bang. The scorching air waves steamed the sand into mist. The flesh and blood of 50 black shadows sizzled and scorched. The screams and ghost howls echoed, impossible. The ultimate Sanren, Tang Long, the iron four-cornered monster. They were all wiped out in seconds. The battlefield was charred and cracked, white smoke was rising from the cracks, and the heat was steaming as the leader's corpse exploded and the golden scroll fell to the ground with a snap. The auditorium was silent for 3 seconds, and then the passers-by screamed and screamed. The hidden temple archer jumped up with a trembling voice and worshipped, fuck. Yanting AoE Tangmen in 50 seconds. The magic god exploded, and the Sanren king slapped the guild in the face. Tang Long's face turned green. Iron four corners are iron-blooded, sister you are so handsome together, and their eyes are so cool. The female player blushed and screamed, and the crowd rippled like a tide, contempt turned to fear and worship, and reputation magma erupted. The NPC referee trembled with his withered hands and announced loudly, Iron Sijiao won all 3 rounds and advanced to the finals. Unlocked. The ultimate job transfer preparation, bloody battle begins. Yen Ting retracted his staff, his chest rose and fell to the peak of confidence, and the team's morale exploded like a volcano. Sun Yu knelt down on one knee on the shield, choking and shouting, brother Ting, the Iron Tower will always be topped. Chen Yi clasped his fists and laughed, chop Tang Long. You Zhen threw herself into Yen Ting's arms, her soft breasts clinging to the heat, and the fragrance of lavender was strong and assailed her nose. She raised her eyes with water, and her voice trembled as she confessed, Ting. I have believed in you since the NPC branch, and my heart is beating hard tonight. You saved me, led us, and my heart is all for you. Iron Sijiao, I will never leave you. The corners of her lips curled up slightly, and a romantic current flowed through her heart. Yen Ting picked up the scroll, his fingertips as cold as electric shock, and declared war domineeringly, his voice like a hammer hitting his heart, Tang Long, listen up. If the Iron Four Corners are not dead, I will destroy your whole family in the guild war. The team roared in response like thunder, and fists touched each other. Bang bang, the blood boiled, but deep in the hidden temple, the NPC's low voice turned into a sinister smile, the bloody battle decision. Tang Long comes in person, or is it a phantom end? The stone door slowly opened with a boom, the blood was faint, and the murderous intention surged again. The four people fist bumped and, bang bang, the blood boiled, and the iron team was formed. But on the high platform of the finals, Tang Long's dark shadow slowly rose, his grimace twisted and grinning, his voice like poisonous mist that pierced the ears. Sanren, what a show. Hundreds of people were bloodbathed in the finals, the fragments, the women, are all mine. The murderous intention gathered again, and the bloody light on the battlefield flickered. The NPC referee's skinny voice sounded like scraping iron. The final is about to begin. 100 people from the Tang sect versus Iron Four Corners, compete for the Central Blood Soul boss. The winner will rob the palace resources and get a job transfer spot. The alarm bell exploded the eardrums with a dang-dang sound, and the giant beast Blood Soul boss roared out in the center of the battlefield, with red scales rolling like boiling blood. The claws, boom, shook the sand flying, and the fishy wind hit the face and burned the skin. Tang Long jumped off the high platform with a grin, his black boots squeaked on the sand and got stuck in the mud. He waved his hand and hundreds of wolves surged in. The axe blade buzzed, the arrows whizzed through the wind, and the rain of fire hissed and filled the air with a burning smell. There was dead silence in the audience at first, and then there was a wave of jeers. The head of the Tang clan is personally conquering. The Sanren Dharma god is as brittle as paper, and can be broken with a knife. The woman You Zhen, who breastfeeds Tang Long, will win the grand prize. Sun Yu's giant shield swung forward, and hit the ground to block the first wave of arrows. His iron arm was numb as if it was broken, and his health bar dropped by 15%. He was breathing heavily like a bellows, and his eyes were blurred with sweat and blood. Brother Ting. The boss's blood is thick, and he can't withstand the fire of hundreds of people. Tang Long is going to attack you. Chen Yi's giant sword slashed down 3 people in a whirlwind. Zhen, why are you so hesitant? Boss Crispy, if you don't control the situation, we will be wiped out. You Zhen's frost wand trembled, the scent of lavender was filled with sour panic, her watery eyes flashed, she bit her lips and moved closer to Yen Ting, her soft arms lightly touched his waist. Ting, I locked the boss, but Tang Long mocked you for being crispy, does the team believe me? The inner rift reappeared, Yen Ting's heart was twisting like a knife, and the pressure was overwhelming. Brother is questioning again. How can I prove it? Tang Long approached 10 meters away. The black-robed demonic energy billowed like poisonous mist and hit his nostrils. He stopped and laughed ferociously, his voice as hoarse as a sawbone. Sanren Dharma god. Huh, crispy paper. Look at your star explosion technique, which can be used as cannon fodder in seconds. I will do it myself, master, with a wave of combos. Poke your heart out. Grab all the pieces, women, and career changes. As he finished speaking, a black light flashed in his right hand, and a shadow blade pierced the air like an ice needle, grazing Yen Ting's shoulder, tearing his gauze robe, and the sharp pain penetrated his bones, and blood dripped out. Yen Ting took half a step back. The soles of his feet were soaked with blood and mud, and his magic meridians were swollen and painful. His mentality changed from panic to calm analysis. Tang Long was strong in melee combat, but his weakness was the overload of magic energy, cuffs pulsating, remote control residue. But the ridicule is like fire, crispy skin. I have counterattacked here, how can I tolerate this insult? Iron Four Corners, iron and blood are indestructible. Yen Ting roared at the explosion site. The blue flames of his staff burst into flames and steamed the sand. He tightened his grip on You Zhen's slender wrist, and felt the warm and smooth touch of electricity rushing through his heart. He whispered domineeringly, believe me, Lien Yin star explosion. Yu Chen drags the boss, Tang Long. I fight back. Sun Yu heard the shield charge, boom, knocked 10 people away, and the blood and sweat flew away and roared, Brother Ting's oracle, the tower will always be topped. But he gasped and questioned, but, the crispy risk is too dangerous. Chen Yi's sword slashed the boss's scales with "keng keng," and sparks splashed on his palms. He turned around with a ferocious smile. "Boss, my brother's heart is shaking." But Tang Long's combo. The dialogue game was like gunpowder, with obstacles layer upon layer, and Yen Ting's heart surged with reluctance. "Damn, you hesitate again? I slap you in the face with my strength." The blood on the battlefield flickered like a pulsing heart, and the heat wave mixed with the smell of rust penetrated directly into the nose. Thunder rolled in Yen Ting's chest, and beads of sweat slid down the star gauze, leaving it cold and sticky against the skin. He raised his eyes and locked onto the high platform, where Tang Long was hunting in black robes, his face twisted into a sinister arc, his eyes as red as molten metal, locked onto the fragment of Yen Ting's fate. The blue light on his chest pulsed faintly, burning into his heart like fire. The pressure was like a mountain avalanche. Yen Ting's throat was dry, and his mind screamed, "Fuck, 100 people will be massacred. No matter how powerful my AoE is, it can't stop the sea of people from taking turns to be crispy." The conflict escalated. Tang Long's shadow blades hissed like a swarm of bees, and the cold breath chilled his muscles. Yen Ting dodged and the sand was flying and his feet were burning. His mind turned. Is he under a lot of pressure? No, I, the king, have awakened. Star Veil, protect. The robe bulged with blue light covering the body, Buzz blocked the three-edged shock, and the arm was numb. You Zhen's frost staffs exchanged light, and her watery eyes flashed with water. Ting, together. The two Dharma gods chanted, and the energy surged like a river of stars, and the blue and white light beam exploded with a boom. Tang Long's grin faltered, and the black robe cracked with overload of demonic energy. He shouted, "Crispy delusion." The shadow blade counterattacked, piercing Yen Ting's heart. Orgasm breaks out. Yen Ting keenly locked onto the pulsation of his cuffs, and pointed his staff forward. "The galaxy will destroy the world." The blue flame turned into a tornado and, boom, swallowed the shadow blade. The scorching air waves evaporated the poisonous mist, and white smoke emitted from the scorched ditch on the battlefield to irritate the nose. He launched a wave of combos. The star explosion technique locked the weak point, blasted Tang Long's sleeve mark, ZZ, and burned it black. Tang Long screamed that his health bar dropped by 40%, and his face twisted with fear. Impossible, the master's demonic energy. Yen Ting was ecstatic and the pleasure of revenge was overwhelming, and he roared mentally, "Crispy. I will kill your mother." The beam of light poured down, and Tang Long knelt on the sand with a boom. The black robe burned and the heat wave burned his skin. He vomited blood and stared. "Sansren, you can't win the guild." The boss fell to the ground wailing, and the golden scroll exploded. The resources were plundered, the job transfer quota and the fragments all went to the Iron Four Corners. The whole place was dead silent, and the reaction of passers-by was like a volcano erupting. The hidden temple archer jumped up and roared, "Fuck." Yen Ting counterattacked Tang Long with a wave of moves. The god of law exploded and slapped the overlord in the face. The Iron Four-Corner team, their reputation is off the charts. Sister You joined forces to praise the commander. Brother Ting is back as the king. Su is dead. The female player blushed and screamed. The crowd turned from mocking to worshipping frenzy, and her reputation soared into the sky like a rocket. Tang Long's power collapsed, and hundreds of remaining soldiers knelt down and surrendered. The NPC referee declared with a dull voice, "The Iron Four Corners win. The ultimate job transfer begins. But, there is a curse hidden in the heart of the blood soul, who dares to touch it?" The passers-by in the audience first laughed and turned suspicious, and the hidden temple archer jumped up and shouted, "Yanting withstood the shadow blade? The magic god is not fragile. But the head of the Tang Long family, Sanren is dead." The female player screamed and trembled. "Brother Ting is so handsome and whispers to you, sister, so Su, but fragile for a second?" Heartbroken. The ripples spread, and there was a hint of admiration in the disdain. The smoke from the battlefield was like a ghostly aftertaste, and the pungent smell of blood and charcoal from scorched earth penetrated into the nostrils. Yan Ting's chest was still heaving violently, sweat mixed with blood stains dripped down his neck, and it was cold and sticky against the star gauze. He lowered his head and stared at the heart of the blood soul in the palm of his hand. The red light was like a heart pulsing, and the hot hand went straight through the meridians. He whispered faintly like an ice needle scratching the brain, fusion. Destruction. Trial. 3 people in the team gathered around. Chen Yi's giant sword, Kong, pestled the sand, and the hot breath sprayed iron on his cheeks. There was a smell of rust. Sun Yu's huge shield was leaning, his face blurred with blood and sweat twitched, and the veins in his iron arms were still aching. You Zhen's frost staff trembled slightly, her watery eyes locked on his palm. The fragrance of lavender was mixed with sour worry, her delicate hands unconsciously clenched the corners of his robe, and the warmth of electricity came from her soft fingertips. The NPC referee's skinny figure floated closer, his robe sleeves were like withered bones, clicking against the air, and his hoarse voice was like scraping iron ears. Iron 4 corners, the heart of the victor's blood soul belongs to you. The ultimate job transfer, the blood sacrifice merges with the fragments of destiny. But the cursed illusion, the narrow escape, the reappearance of inner demons, and the souls of those whose will is broken. As soon as the words fell, the entire audience fell into dead silence, and then hummed and whispered like a honeycomb exploding, and a hidden temple archer jumped up and roared. Said, "What the hell, blood soul curse? The head of the Tang Long family is on his knees, how dare Yan Ting touch him? No matter how fierce the Sanren Dharma god is, the inner demon in the fantasy world will be killed instantly." The female player next to her turned pale, and screamed trembling, "Brother Ting, the king is back. But a narrow escape. I feel so bad, sister you, hold him back." The ripples spread, and there was a hint of fear mixed with admiration, which highlighted Yan Ting's lonely courage, the undefeated myth in the eyes of passers-by, the moment when he was slapped in the face by the iron law of the system. Yan Ting's throat was dry, and his heart was filled with reluctance. Damn it, after such a counterattack, there are still inner demons? I've endured all the crispy taunts. He clenched the heart of the blood soul, and the red light flashed like fire and burned the palm of his hand. He turned to the team with a forced smile, "Brothers, fuse it, I will finally change my profession, the legendary magic god. Iron 4 corners, become a god." Chen Yi's giant sword struck, the muscles of the iron arm twitched, hesitation flashed in the hot-blooded eyes, and he roared at game, "Boss, your liver is shaking. The referee said that the soul is gone, how can the brothers resist?" Tang Long knelt down, "Why should we take this risk?" Sun Yudun smashed the earthquake with a bang and the sand flew up. His breathing was like a bellows, and blood and sweat splashed on his face. Brother Ting's oracle. But the crisis has reappeared in the illusion, and my iron tower can't withstand the inner demons. It's a fragile risk, do you want to question it again? The conversation was like a sword confrontation, with obstacles layer upon layer. Yan Ting's heart was twisting like a knife, and the pressure was overwhelming. "Fuck, you are hesitating again. I will prove it with my life." You Zhen's watery eyes flashed, and the frost staff stretched out to touch the heart of the blood soul. The cold touch relieved the burning pain. She bit her lips and leaned closer, her soft lips almost brushing against the hot breath of his ear. "Ting. I believe you are invincible, but the cursed illusion and the past crisis reappeared. How can you withstand it? What if I can't defend the team?" Misunderstandings ignited like gunpowder. Yan Ting's mind turned around, and he calmly analyzed the weakness. "They are not afraid of me, but the system difficulty." He grasped You Zhen's slender wrist fiercely, the warm and smooth skin shocked her heart, and whispered domineeringly, "Trust me. I've been slapped in the face by the crisp taunts, brother's doubts, and Tang Long shadow blade in the past. In this illusion, I've reversed it." The team's eyes collided, and Chen Yi responded with a low roar, "Iron and blood are unbreakable, brothers will be forever bonded." Sun Yudun raised his head and smiled crudely, "Kneel down on the iron tower, and the oracle will reach the sky. You Zhen's cheeks turned red, her soft body leaned against his shoulder, and she murmured, "Ting, my God, we will never leave. The relationship is like cast iron, forever bonded." The heart of the blood soul exploded into a red mist that engulfed Ting. His vision was distorted into a whirlpool, and the cold demonic energy penetrated his pores like thousands of bone-piercing needles. The blood and sand under his feet turned into a bottomless abyss, and the feeling of falling tore at his internal organs. The illusion is coming, the crisis of the past reappears. First, there is the gloomy working station of an office worker, the clicking of the keyboard is like a suppressed heartbeat, and the colleagues laugh at the waste player, who is as sharp as a knife. In the blink of an eye, Tang Long approaches the battlefield with a grimace, the shadow blade hisses, and the ice needle pierces the heart. The blood and tearing pain reappears, the crispy skin's health bar is reduced by 90%, and death is as cold as the grave soil. The cold voice of the system was like a hammer hitting his brain, the will collapse rate is 99%, the job transfer is terminated, and the soul will fly away. The torment was overwhelming, Ting bit his teeth bloody, his meridians were swollen and painful, and his mind roared, "Fuck, the inner demon is reappearing. I am not willing to give in." Awakening of keen observation, he locked onto the rift in the illusion, Tang Long's cuffs pulsed falsely, and his colleagues laughed at him with fear flashing in his eyes. The king's reversal. Ting roared and exploded the illusion. The blue flames of his staff exploded from the palm of his hand. The heat wave evaporated and the ice needles sizzled. He swung the staff star explosion to lock the weak point. The blue tornado tore the shadow blade with boom. The crisis of the past was like the shattering of glass. The difficulty of the system slapped him in the face, and his cold voice trembled, "Impossible, the will defies heaven, the fusion is successful." The divine power awakens, the climax pours down like a river of stars, the gold edge of the star gauze robe flashes, all attributes plus 500% magic power is like a volcano erupting, the meridians are comfortable and ecstatic electric currents are flowing through the body, and the legendary magic god is born. The illusion collapsed, and he landed on the battlefield with a bang. The blue-gold light beam shot up to the sky with a deafening boom, and the stars around him pulsated and heated his skin. The team rushed to embrace, Chen Yi knelt down with his giant sword, and roared with passionate laughter, "Boss is a god. Iron-blooded brothers, follow me forever." Sun Yi knelt down in the Iron Tower and swore with blood, sweat and tears, "Brother Ting is legendary, Iron Four Corners canonized the gods." You Zhen's watery eyes admired the water, and her soft lips pressed against his lips, sweet and hot breath blending, "Ting, my girlfriend, will always be with the God King." The audience went crazy, and the hidden temple archers jumped and yelled, "Fuck." Ting slapped the system in the face, and the legendary magic god was reversed in a narrow escape. Exploding the sky, Iron Four-Corner myth, the server is number 1. The female player screamed and blushed, "Brother Ting's divine power has awakened, how Su. Sister, you kissed me, I'm jealous to death." The frenzy of admiration was like a tsunami, and her reputation went straight to the god list. The blue-gold beam of light disintegrated like a galaxy, and the aftermath of the boom shook the battlefield with blood and dust. The blood and sand on the soles of Ting's feet were still faintly trembling. The gold edge of the star gauze robe pulsed and heated his skin. His chest was filled with ecstasy like the embers of a volcano. The magic power in his meridians surged like a tide of gulu, and the sweet taste of victory flowed straight into his throat. But the whisper was like a ghostly ice needle, scraping through the eardrums and boring into the brain, legend awakening. The hidden copy of the server, Blood Soul Palace, is opened, and the remnants of the Tang sect take revenge. Those who join, change their lives or be destroyed. The system announced, buzz, and exploded the entire server, and blood-red ripples appeared in front of Ting's eyes, the myth of the Iron Four Corners. The legendary magic god Ting triggers S-level concealment, and the first pass of Blood Soul Palace is limited. Hundreds of Tang sect remnants blocked the door, and the server live broadcast started. The entire auditorium fell into dead silence at first, and then it was like a volcano erupting. The hidden temple archer jumped up with eyes wide open, veins bulging in his throat, and yelled, "Fuck! Blood Soul Hell Palace." Legend has it that the annihilation rate of the 9th floor is 99.9%. Tang Long, the boss, was stuck and knelt down. How dare Yen Ting iron 4 corners charge? Number 1 on the god list. The female player next to her blushed. He screamed and crossed his arms and trembled, "Brother Ting is so handsome with his starry robe and golden robe." Sister Yu's girlfriend Buff, the remnants of the gang dare to stop the king of gods. Watch the live broadcast and get slapped in the face. The admiration frenzy is like a tsunami. In the eyes of passers-by, the Iron Four Corners have transformed from a lone warrior to a god-conferring family, emphasizing the kingly aura of Yen Ting. Under the iron law of the system, no one dares to underestimate him. Chen Yi's giant sword, King, punched the sand, the muscles of his iron arm twitched, his hot-blooded eyes were locked on Yen Ting, and he roared with hesitation, "Boss, the 9th floor of the Hades Palace." The remnants of the Tang sect blocked the door, just finished the inner demon, and the revenge dog came again. Brother's liver is trembling, the tank can't withstand the combined boss. The words were like a knife, cutting through the blood of the team. Sun Yu's giant shield, bang, the earth shattered and sand flew up, blood and sweat splashed on his face was salty, and his breathing was as heavy as a bellows, Brother Ting's oracle. But there are hundreds of remnants, and there are traps at the entrance to the dungeon. Even if my iron tower is broken, I can't stop the sea of people. Crispy joints, what if the milk is cut off? Obstacles were layered, misunderstandings were ignited like gunpowder, and Yen Ting's heart sank. "Fuck, you are questioning again. I've defied heaven's fusion, yet I'm still doing this." You Zhen's eyes sparkled with water, and the frost staff trembled as she came closer. The lavender-scented mixed blood charcoal hit her face. She clenched the corner of Yen Ting's robe tightly with her delicate hands, and warmth like electricity flowed through her soft fingertips. She bit her lip and murmured sourly, "Ting. My girlfriend believes that you are invincible with Starburst, but the remnants of the Tang sect have Shadow Blade assassins. Entrance the crisis reappears. Can your legendary buffs withstand it? Can't I hold back?" The conversation was like swords clashing, the air was bone-chilling, Yen Ting's throat was dry, and he calmly analyzed, "It's not me they're afraid of, it's the sea of remnants plus the iron law of the dungeon." He grasped You Zhen's slender wrist fiercely, his smooth skin melting like honey, and locked eyes with the three of them in a domineering whisper, "Believe me." Tang Long kneels on the sand, and the remnants of the gangsters count their hair. I have a keen insight into the hidden branches of the Hades Palace. The four corners of the iron are like family members, and they chant the boss in seconds, and the life-changing god pretends to be a god. Chen Yi slapped his iron arm, and responded with a warm-blooded laugh, "Iron-blooded not broken, brothers and families will always be together." Sun Yuduan raised his head and shook off his sweat with a rough smile, "The iron tower reaches the sky, the oracle tells the family to rush." You Zhen's cheeks were flushed, her soft lips pressed against his cheek, and she whispered with sweet warmth, "Ting, my god, my family, and my girlfriend, I will always accompany you in the charge." The relationship is like iron, and the romance is locked for a moment, and the emotions are sublimated and warm. The blood gate at the entrance opened with a boom, and the cold underworld air hit the face like thousands of ghosts screaming, and the fishy and rotten smell penetrated the nose and rushed straight to the forehead. The team stepped into the abyss of blood mist, and their vision was distorted into a 9-layer spiral. The first level of crisis broke out. The Tang sect's remnant Shadow Blade assassins hissed out, the sword light was like an ice needle scraping the skin, the air was torn with a pop sound, Chen Yi's giant sword swept across, bang, the blood mist evaporated and the heat wave burned his face, Sun Yu's shield topped the sea of people, clang, the gold and iron clashed and deafened the ears, Yen Ting's star staff exploded with blue flames, and the keen locked the shadow on the sleeve of the weak point was fixed, and the starburst technique, boom, tore apart 10 people with a blue tornado. The sound of flesh and blood was, zzz, pungent. You Zhen's frost chain controlled the field, Kara, to freeze the remaining enemies. Her water eyes flashed with admiration, Ting. God is accurate. The remnants screamed, you are so powerful that you dare to kill the family leader and brother. As the layers advanced, the crises continued. The second level of inner demon storm reappeared, the hallucinations were buzzing, and the brain was buzzing, the gray keyboard at work was clicking. In depression, Tang Long was approaching with a grimace and a sinister smile, the shadow blade ice needle stabbed the heart with tearing pain, the team's health bar dropped wildly, Sun Yu gasped and veins burst in his iron arm, fuck, the inner demon is coming again. The iron tower can't handle it. The misunderstanding escalated, and Chen Yi's giant sword trembled and hesitated, boss, the boss is about to be reunited, how can I resist the weaning? Yen Ting's teeth were bloody, his meridians were burning and painful, and he mentally roared, I've broken it once. He locked the crack and roared, Lien Yin. Stars plus moon white, break the illusion. The two magic staffs clashed, the blue and gold frost light, bang, the galaxy poured down, the heat wave evaporated the ice needles, sizzling, the illusion shattered, pop, the team was out of trouble, You Zhen's soft body leaned on his shoulder, murmuring, the god king of the family, is invincible. The climax of the defense, the ninth floor boss, Tang sect blood soul fusion, the leader of the remnant party merges with the ghost roar, the huge blood demon body, Golu, pulses like a heart, the rotten aura is overwhelming, the claw shadow hisses, coldly scrapes the bones, the three-headed and six-armed shadow blade dances wildly with clang, and the golden sound shakes the sky. The team's health bar drops by 70% in an instant, the crisis is overwhelming. Chen Yi's flanking giant sword filled in, boom, flesh and blood spattered in the face, Sun Yu's iron tower's hard top broke and, bang bang, shield cracked and sparks flew everywhere, he roared roughly, Brother Ting, the combined boss's magic resistance is 999%, the crispy taunt can't pull it off, stop. The leader of the Tang sect twisted his face with a sinister smile, the myth of Sanren. The master of the family is taking revenge, and I will give you iron four corners a blood sacrifice. At the peak of the obstacle, Yen Ting's heart was as calm as ice, and he had a keen insight into the core of the integration, the weak blood soul shadow pulse in his chest. King's instant kill. Yen Ting roared, the gold edge of the star gauze robe flashed violently, all attributes plus 500% magic power erupted volcano, the star explosion spell double chant locked the core, boom, the blue and gold tornado tore through the sky, the heat wave burned the skin and made a scorching sound, Zizi, You Zhen swung the chain assists, Kara, to control the field, Chen Yi's giant sword stabs sideways, and Sun Yuduan taunts and absorbs wounds. The perfect cooperation is like a tacit understanding of family members. The boss's blood soul explodes with plop, his huge body disintegrates with a rain of blood, and the cold residue hits the ground and splashes on his face. The system's cold voice trembled, impossible. Iron Four Corners first penetrated the blood soul palace, slapped the remnants of the Tang sect in the face, and the life-changing divine armor arrived. The golden light treasure chest opened with a pop, and the life-changing divine outfit, Star Soul Emperor robe, appeared. The cold golden light in the tentacles heated the veins, all attributes were plus 1000%, and the heaven-defying branch was unlocked. Yen Ting was ecstatic and electric current rushed through his body. The team gathered around and laughed, and Chen Yi roared passionately, my family can become a god. Sun Yu knelt down on the iron tower and swore with tears mixed with blood and sweat, Oracle, my family, hold up to the sky. You Zhen's eyes were watery, her soft lips kissed her deeply, her sweet tongue was entangled with hot breath, Ting. I love you, my family and girlfriend will be forever. The ecstasy of victory poured out like a sea of stars, and her emotions were sublimated and warmed her heart. Deep in the ninth floor of the Blood Soul Underworld Palace, the rain of blood was still pattering down, and the sticky heat splashed onto Yanting's cheeks. The tip of his tongue licked the rusty taste at the corner of his mouth. The ecstasy of victory in his chest was like rolling lava. The golden veins of the Star Soul Emperor's robe were close to the skin, and the cold metal feeling rushed into the meridians. The magic power, Golu, was boiling like a galaxy, and every heartbeat was numb like an electric shock. Chen Yi's iron arms hugged his shoulders, his rough palms were wet with sweat, and his low roars and laughter shocked his eardrums. Boss. My family has become a god, and I am number one on the Iron Four-Cornered God list. The Tang clan dogs are all kneeling on the sand. Sun Yu's huge shield slammed into the ground, and his knees were cracked. Iron Tower's body knelt down with tears and sweat, and his breathing was like a bellows squeezing his throat. Brother Ting, God order. The Iron Tower reaches the sky, and I swear to my family forever. You Zhen's watery eyes were filled with water, and her soft lips pressed hard against his mouth. The tips of her tongue were sweet, and the scent of lavender mixed with blood hit her nose. She tightened the corners of her robe with her delicate hands, and her fingertips trembled with the warmth of electricity flowing through her heart. Ting, my God, I will love you forever, my family, my girlfriend. I will melt into you. The whole server live broadcast buzzed and exploded on the battlefield of the hidden temple. The audience seat was like a volcano exploding. The archer of the hidden temple had veins popping in his throat. He jumped up with eyes wide open and roared until his face turned red and his neck was thick. Fuck. Iron Four Corners first passes through the 9th floor of Blood Soul. The remnants of the Tang sect were surrounded and wiped out, and the divine costume Star Soul Emperor robe was obtained. The legendary Dharma god Yen Ting was ranked first. The boss of Tang Long was resurrected and had to kneel down. Her cheeks were as red as fire, and her eyes shone with admiration. Brother Ting's star robe is invincible, and Sister Yu's deep kiss is so sweet. Iron Sijiao's family buffs, Sanren's destiny is changed against the will of heaven, and the history of the server is rewritten. Passers-by are like a flood. Kneeling and licking, the tsunami of barrages, the eternal myth of the Iron Four Corners, the Tang clan is finished, and, the god of the court and one man is in charge, highlight the aura of the king of Yen Ting from the side, from a working dog to a deified emperor, with a robe in hand, thousands of people worship him. But the whisper of the emperor's robe was like a ghost needle scratching the brain, and the coldness penetrated into the nerves, awakening of changing fate. The ultimate trial of the server, Dragon Soul Tianyuan, is opened, Tang Long's true body is resurrected, and those who enter, the divine list may fly away. The blood shadow condensed into ripples, the space, tiered, and cracked into a black hole, and the rotting dragon's breath hit the face like thousands of insects eating bones. Yen Ting's heart sank, and his ecstasy instantly froze. Damn, this bitch Tang Long is still alive. The real body is resurrected, the ultimate test is iron law and the magic resistance is unlimited. How can the fragile team survive? Chen Yi clenched the giant sword, Kong, tightly, the muscles of his iron arm twitched and hesitated, his eyes flashed with blood and panic, and he roared the air, Boss, Dragon Soul Tianyuan. The overlord of the Tang Long True Body Guild, the remnant party has been wiped out, and he still hides his trump card, my family's liver trembles. The giant sword can't cut the dragon scales. The words were like a blade, the cracks in Sun Yu's shield expanded, and the heavy breath suppressed the blood and sweat and shook off the saltiness. The Iron Tower's body trembled slightly. Brother Ting's divine outfit is against the sky. But the ultimate trial, the sea of people, is useless. I can't stop the instant kill even after being singled out. The milk is broken and the iron corners are scattered. Obstacles are layered. Misunderstandings are like igniting a powder keg. You Zhen's frost staff trembles, her eyes are sour and she dodges, her delicate hands loosening the corner of his robe, his fingertips were cold. Ting, my girlfriend believes you, but the inner demon of Dragon Soul Tianyuan has upgraded, Tang Long's real body has locked my hidden branch, and the star curse cannot be withheld. My family chanted, what if I can't control it? The air was oppressive and biting. Yen Ting's throat was as dry as sand, his meridians were burning and swollen with pain, and his mental transition was as calm as a knife. It's not me they're afraid of, it's Tang Long's trump card plus the iron law of trial. I have a keen insight into all opportunities, the Star Soul Emperor robe has plus 1000% all attributes, and the heaven-defying branch is unlocked, the Dragon Soul's weakness is the shadow in the eyes. He grasped You Zhen's slender wrist fiercely, his warm and smooth skin melted into his heart, his domineering eyes locked on the three of them, his voice was as low as thunder, believe me. Tang Long knelt down once, and the real body is coming again, and I will kill you instantly with my Star Soul. The Iron Sijiao family united in chanting to break the dragon scales, and topped the list of life-changing gods. Chen Yi slapped his iron arm, and his eyes ignited with a passionate laugh, iron-blooded is unbreakable, brother and family chop the dragon. Sun Yudun raised his head and shook his veins with a rough smile, the Iron Tower reaches the sky, and the Oracle family reaches the abyss. You Zhen's cheeks were flushed, her watery eyes worshipped the water, her soft body pressed against his chest, her lips bit her lips and whispered, Ting, the God King's family, the girlfriend will always control the situation. The moment the relationship was forged, the romantic heat evaporated. The black hole bombed the team, and the Dragon Soul Abyss unfolded, the endless star abyss. The heat wave of the dragon's breath burned the skin like fire, and the fishy and rotten smell penetrated the nose and went straight to the forehead. Tang Long's true body was resurrected. The huge blood dragon's body, Golu, pulses, its scales of gold and iron scrape its ears, rust, its 6 ghost eyes twist and grin, its 3 heads roar, boom, to shake the sky, its claw shadow ice needles, his, tear the air, and its instant killing power is overwhelming at 9,999%. The team's health bar dropped by 90%, and the crisis exploded. Chen Yi's giant sword stabbed Keng on the side, and sparks flew out and sprayed hot blood on his face. Sun Yu's iron tower hardtop bang bang, shield shattered with an ear-splitting sound, and his throat was torn by the roar, fuck, Dragon Soul's taunt can't be held back, brother Ting is so crispy, retreat. Tang Long's ghost roar was distorted, and the sound was deafening. Waves like needles piercing the brain, myth of Sanren. Plunder the job transfer quota, sacrifice the blood to the iron 4 corners, and revive the guild. At the peak of the obstacle, Ting bites blood from his teeth, the gold edge of the Star Soul Emperor's robe flashes, it is all a volcanic eruption, the eyes are keenly locked on the phantom and the pulse is weak, the heaven-defying branch, Star Soul Slayer Dragon, is unlocked. The end of the king. Ting roared with bursting pain in his meridians. He locked the core with a triple chant of star explosion, rumble, the blue-gold frost tornado tore the sky, the heat wave evaporated the dragon's breath, zzz, with a scorching sound and pungent nose, You Zhen's frost chain, Kara, controlled the 6 eyes, soft hot breath whispered, Ting, is accurate. Chen Yi's giant sword filled the gap and chopped off the scales, flesh and blood splashed, Sun Yuduan's wounds were broken and, sparks splashed on the face, the family members had a tacit understanding, the Dragon Soul's pupils exploded with pop, the huge body disintegrated with a bang, and rain of blood poured down, and the cold residue hit the ground sticky. The system's cold voice trembled and the whole server trembled, impossible. Iron 4 corners first passed through the Dragon Soul Tianyuan, Tang Long's true body was reduced to ashes, and he was forever sealed on the list of gods who changed his destiny. Ting, the legendary Dharma god, ranked number 1 in server history. The baptism of golden light poured down like a sea of stars, Ting's ecstatic electric current coursed through his whole body, and the number 1 iron seal appeared on the divine list. The team burst into laughter, and Chen Yi roared with passion, my family will live forever on the divine list. Sun Yu knelt down on the iron tower and swore in tears, the oracle is in the sky, the 4 iron corners are immortal. You Zhen's watery eyes are affectionate, the soft lips kissed endlessly, the tongue was sweet and melted into the heart, and the fragrance of lavender lingered forever, Ting. I love you, my emperor, my family and my girlfriend. I will always be with you in the fantasy world. The ecstasy of victory warmed the world, and Ting felt the same in his heart, from the darkness of the keyboard to the Star Soul becoming a god, he chose to change his life, and his brothers and family climbed to the top together. The server is eternal, and the legend of Iron 4 is immortal. Yan Ting's chest rose and fell, the king's self-confidence was at its peak, the team's fists were filled with bang bang, blood, and You Zhen's soft lips pressed against her ear and breathed warmly, "Ting, you are my god." But the heart of the blood soul flashed with red light, faintly whispering like a ghost, fusion, or destruction. The new crisis condensed. But in the blue-gold light pillar, a new whisper was faintly heard, the legend awakens, the hidden dungeon is opened, and the remnants of the Tang sect take revenge. The new crisis is like a hidden arrow. But the emperor's robe faintly whispered, awakening of changing fate. The final trial of the server has begun, Tang Long's true body is resurrected. The new hidden arrow is condensed like a shadow of blood.